Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome to A Spaceship Accident. Spaceship Accident is taking part in the Choose Wisely Festival, taking place on Steam from December 8th through the 15th, 2025, so be sure to go check that out. This, among many other games, are taking part in it, so it's a good time. Good time. Let's start. I could not find the proper full screen option, so we're getting the slightly weird full screen. Alright, in this story, you are Frederick Anderson, a young astronaut embarking on a mission of space exploration. The life aboard the SS Celestio station is routine, a series of predictable tasks and quiet moments. The vastness of space stretches endlessly outside your window, a constant reminder of your solitude away from your daughter. Days blur together, a cycle of maintenance checks and data logging, until one day, something unexpected disrupts the monotony. Settings? Okay, that's just that. Is it? Oh, scroll. Wait. Scroll? Oh. Okay, I can click them. Do you want to change the name? Okay. Disrupts. There we go. Okay, I see now. Who do you want to be? Before we move on to the interesting bit, let's decide one thing. Who do you want to be? In moments of crisis, when the familiar order gives way to chaos, who are you? This is not just a question of skills or training. It was about the core of your being, the values that guided you when everything else fell apart. See, you were a Marine once, forged in war, hardened by loss. Your squad, your brothers died on a distant colony, leaving you alone with nothing but ghosts. Earth became unbearable, too full of memories that wouldn't let go. Space was an escape, a way to drown out the past with the silence of the stars. You took the first ship that would have you. Wild card. Decision's yours. Remember, you can always restart the game with another character at any time. To restart or save the game, click on the settings button. Alright. So, engineer, you always understood machines better than people. Circuits made sense. Wires never lied. You wanted to build great things, but Earth's bureaucracy strangled every dream. So you left, choosing the silence of deep space over the noise of human failure. Now the stars are your workshop, your escape, your home. Or the wild card. Some people are born with a plan. You never had one. A gambler, a drifter, a survivor. You've always relied on luck more than skill. Space wasn't a dream, just the latest roll of the dice. Maybe out here you'll strike it big. Maybe you'll crash and burn. Either way, it's one hell of a ride. Yeah, let's play as the wild card. Alright. The game was rigged. Luck was your god, not in some grand scheme, spiritual sense. No, you just learned early on that life was a game of odds, and the ones who played smart came out ahead. Born on a planet where futures were dictated by numbers, test scores, credit balances, work quotas, you were always just a little to the left of the rules. While the other kids were studying equations and protocols, you were learning how to read faces, how to count cards, how to know when to fold, and when to hold, and when to bet big. By the time you were 16, you were making more money in the back rooms of dive bars than your teachers made in the year. Nothing serious, just enough to keep things interesting, enough to make the dull grind of the world feel like something you could cheat. And you did, over and over, until you didn't have to anymore. So the game stopped being about survival and became about something else. And then she came along. The one thing you didn't bet on. Her mother was a mistake, or maybe you were hers. Either way, by the time she told you that she was pregnant, you were already looking for a way out. The idea of being tied down, of responsibility, of playing a game where you couldn't just cash out and walk away, it scared you more than any loaded deck ever had. So you did what you always did when the odds would look bad. You ran, except you didn't get far. The first time you held your daughter, something inside you cracked open. She was so small, so fragile, so real. A bad bet should have made you angry. A losing hand should have made you fold. But this was something you couldn't walk away from. And so, for the first time in your life, you tried to play by the rules. You got a real job. Something steady, something with paychecks and shifts and mind-numbing routine. You stopped running cards, stopped hustling, stopped taking chances. For 6 years, you stayed in the game, played it safe, did everything you could to be something resembling a father. And it was good. It really was. Problem with the past is that it never really stays gone. It's a hungry thing, always looking for a way to bite back. And yours had fangs. The people you used to play with, who used to play against, never forget a debt. You thought you had paid them off years ago, but the thing about gambling syndicates is that the house always wins in the end. One night, after putting your daughter to bed, you found a note slipped under your door. Just a few words, but they said everything you needed to know. We want what's owed. At first, you tried to negotiate. You had money saved up, enough to buy a few months apiece. But they didn't want money. They wanted you. One last job, one last con, one last high-stakes game where the price of losing was more than just a few credits. You should have seen it coming. The job was a setup, a way to get you out of the picture. By the time you realized it, the authorities were already closing in. You had two choices: get caught and disappear into a prison cell, or disappear into the stars. You didn't hesitate. You didn't even get to say goodbye. The last thing you saw of your old life was your daughter's toy spaceship lying abandoned on the living room floor. The one you promised you'd fix when you got home. Now you drift. Not because you're looking for an adventure, not because you have some grand destiny, but because there's nowhere else to go. The galaxy is big, and you figure if you keep moving, keep playing your cards right, maybe, just maybe, you can find a way back. But luck is all you've ever had. Or because luck is all you've ever had. You're betting everything that it hasn't run out. At least not just yet. So you're here to start your adventure? Aha! Alright, so inventory, character, health, money, character. Alright, so I have some points. So luck. What's some intelligence? Strength and charisma. And I can, like, take him out anytime, yeah. Alright. Inventory. Short stick. Drowner's helm. Helm. Gloves? Okay, they only go one place. Health pills, I guess, in my inventory? No. Short stick and the weapon? That's me. Automatic storage. Alright. As you awaken from your slumber, the familiar hum of the ship's engines fills the air, accompanied by the dim, pulsing lights of control panels casting an otherworldly hue across the cabin. The rhythm of the engines had always been a lullaby, a steady pulse that spoke of safety and routine. But now something's off. Something had shifted. Alarms, sharp, shrill, and relentless, cut through the tranquility, piercing your ears and your heart alike. Memories come in fragments, but like the shards of a dream dissolving in the harsh light of reality. The camaraderie of your crew, the shared excitement of venturing into uncharted space, distant laughter that seemed so far removed from the present chaos. These were the images that anchored you, that reminded you why you were here. But they felt like they belonged to someone else, someone far away from the alarms, the warning lights, the impending sense of doom. You stood up, your body tensing with adrenaline, instincts kicking in. The emergency lights flicker erratically, casting erratic shadows that dance across the walls. You know these patterns, the rhythm of safety, the routine of order, and you know when they are shattered. You put your hand on the hull and your gut tells you everything you need to know. Something is terribly wrong. And the ship feels like it's on the brink of falling apart. Your training takes over, muscle memory guiding your actions even as your mind races to catch up. You rise from your bunk, each step deliberate, each breath measured. The chaos threatens to pull you under, but you refuse to give in. This isn't the first time you face danger, and it won't be the last. This is different. This is your ship, your crew, and you have to make it right. You reach for your uniform, the fabric familiar against your skin, grounding you in this moment. You are not one to back down, not one to give in to fear. You're a pioneer, a seeker of knowledge, a navigator in the endless sea of stars. And right now, you're the only thing standing between order and chaos. With a spark of determination, you step into the corridor, the alarms growing louder, the lights more frantic. The journey ahead is uncertain, but you're ready. You are driven by insatiable curiosity, by the need to uncover the mysteries of the universe. And nothing, not even the collapse of your ship, will stop you. Try to stabilize the ship. Your heart pounds like a war drum, each beat echoing through your ribcage as you lunge toward the control panel. Your fingers fly across the buttons, tapping switches, adjusting dials, all in a desperate attempt to steady the ship. The alarms scream, a cacophony of urgency that cuts through the static-filled comms. The red glow of warning lights bathes everything in the sinister hue, casting long, jagged shadows across the walls. On the floor, probably left due to sheer panic, you find a map of the galaxy. Aha. Whole bunch of locks on there. Let's see. You look at the map. Near the space station, you see a planet. You were half drunk when they talked about that thing near the ship, but you don't feel like being picky right now. Let's roll the dice and hope for the best. Despite your frantic efforts, the ship continues its descent into chaos. It lurches and groans as if it's crying out in agony, its systems buckling under the strain. The heat in the cabin rises, beads of sweat trickling down your forehead. Mingling with the acrid smell of burning wires, the console flickers, threatening to go dark, and you feel the pit in your stomach grow deeper. You take a step back, surveying the damage, and the reality hits you like a punch to the chest. It's all coming undone, unraveling faster than you can mend it. The ship's infrastructure is collapsing, its vital systems failing one by one. The cold grip of despair tightens around your throat, and for a moment, you question whether it's all in vain. But then, something within you refuses to break. A spark of defiance, a glimmer of hope. You grit your teeth, forcing yourself to stand tall amidst the chaos. Even if the odds are stacked against you, even if the darkness threatens to swallow you whole, you will not yield. You will not fight until the very end. Or you will fight until the very end, because that's what survivors do. Steeling yourself for what comes next, you know you have to make a choice to make. To find a way to escape this crumbling vessel, or delve deeper into the chaos to see if there's a chance to salvage what's left. Look for the captain's office. You step into the corridor, your boots thumping against the cold metal grating. The walls are streaked with stew, a grim reminder of the chaos that has torn through the ship. The flickering emergency lights cast eerie shadows, dancing specters that dart in and out of sight, whispering the promise of danger. The corridor stretches ahead, a narrow tunnel that leads to the heart of the ship, the captain's office. As you move through the passageway, the smell of smoke grows thicker, mingling with the acrid smell of burnt plastic. Your heart races, each step drawing you closer to whatever has befallen this place. You grip the railings for support, feeling the vibrations of the ship's failing engines reverberate through your bones. It feels as though the very ship is crying out in pain, and you're walking into the epicenter of its agony. The door to the captain's office hangs ajar, the metal bent and scorched, as if it had been wrenched open by some violent force. You push it with your shoulder, the hinges groaning in protest, and the door swings inward with a mournful creak. Inside, the scene is nothing short of a nightmare. The room is in disarray, the furniture upended, paper scattered like dead leaves in a storm. The captain's desk is shattered, splintered wood and shards of glass littering the floor. But it's the blood that catches your eye, a dark smear against the wall, leading to a lifeless form slumped in the corner. The captain, a formidable presence in life, now reduced to a grotesque display of violence. His body is twisted, the face unrecognizable beneath the mangled flesh. As you observe the body, something catches your eyes. Result is 11. In the captain's hands, you find a med kit. Okay, so I have a med kit now. And I just go up to inventory. Okay. Automatic. Alright. You step back, the weight of the scene pressing against your chest. The ship is no longer a place of exploration. It's a tomb, a silent testament to a battle fought and lost. The echoes of violence hang in the air, a stark reminder that you're not just fighting against the elements, you're fighting against something far more sinister. The question now is whether you have the strength to face it. Look for survivors inside the ship. Did I just get more experience? I guess I did. I'm level 3. Whatever that does for me. You move swiftly down the corridor, the ship's violent shudders jolting your every step. The groaning metal and the acrid smell of smoke fill the air, mingling with the distant cries for help. It feels like the vessel is fighting against you, buckling and collapsing as if to bury its secrets forever. But you press on, drawn by the faint hope that someone, anyone, might still be out there. Do I have more points. Let's... Oh yeah, +5 strength. Do luck. Charisma. The devastation is immense. Sparks rain from broken conduits, the wires dangle like ghostly tendrils. Debris litters the floor, a jumble of shattered glass and twisted metal. Every step is a gamble, the ground beneath you unstable, shifting a reflection of the chaos consuming the ship. In the middle of the chaos, you hear something. 7. You hear a voice, a faint, strangled cry from somewhere ahead. It spurs you on, your heart pounding with urgency. The corridor narrows, the walls warping, forcing you to crouch and navigate through the wreckage. The smoke grows thicker, obscuring your vision, but you push through, following the desperate sound. Ship's structure groans, a low rumble like a beast awakening from slumber. You hear the wrenching of metal, the ominous creaking that signals collapse. It's getting worse by the second, the entire vessel teetering on the brink. You can't stop now. Someone needs you. Someone's depending on you. As you round a corner, the source of the voice comes into view, a crew member pinned beneath a beam, struggling for breath. You rush to his side, ignoring the searing heat and the encroaching smoke. You recognize him. It's Officer Bradshaw. Flashes of your poker nights, his laugh, you kidding him to his quarter after he got drunk that night, all rushing in as you attempt to free his body. You pull and tug at the beam, desperate to free him, but it's no use. Ship's dying convulsions tighten their grip, the structure closing in like a vice. Do you abandon Officer Bradshaw to save yourself? Stay with him till the end. Stay with him. The alarms grow louder, more frantic. The ship is collapsing. There's no time left. This is a fight you cannot hope to win, but you refuse to let go. If I save... Refuse to let go. You grit your teeth and refuse to let go. The beam feels immovable, but adrenaline and desperation push you further than reason allows. The final heave, you shift it just enough for Bradshaw to drag himself free, his face twisted in pain, his leg mangled beneath torn fabric. He gasps, coughing through the smoke. Leave me. You hook his arm over your shoulder, half carrying, half dragging him through the buckling corridor. Every step is a fight against collapsing walls and the angry roar of fire tearing through the ship's guts. The path back is a blur of sparks, falling debris, and the thunder of failing systems. Bradshaw stumbles, nearly collapses, but you force him onward, ignoring the strain tearing at your muscles. The ship's lights gutter out one by one, leaving only the pulsing red of emergency beacons to guide you. Finally, the pod door comes into sight through the haze. A round hatch waiting at the end of the corridor like the mouth of salvation. The metal around it is scorched, warped from the explosion, but still intact. Bradshaw slumps heavily against you, his breath ragged. His weight threatens to pull you down, but you shove him forward step by step until the two of you reach the hatch. His blood smears the handle as you brace him against the frame. You've made it, somehow. The hatch closes with a heavy groan. Inside, the pod feels like a strange mix of designs, sleek alloy panels beside brass fittings, and cables snaking around the ceiling like veins. The amber lights flicker, never quite steady. You drag Bradshaw into the habitation room with the fold-down cot and lower him carefully onto it. His uniform is scorched, his breathing shallow, each exhale a strange rasp. For a moment, he doesn't stir. And the sight of him like this makes your chest tighten. You've never seen the old engineer still before. Then with a choking gasp, his eyelids flutter open. He blinks at you, unfocused. Where? His words trail into a cough. You press him back down, murmuring something about safety, about being clear of the wreck. He groans, clutching at his side, but then forces himself upright, stubborn as ever. Before you can stop him, he staggers from the cot and into the narrow corridor, takes in the pod with a glance, sees the warped hatch to the engineering crawlspace, then flickering lights, the cracked view screen frosting with condensation. His face pales. Oh, stars, we're doomed. He breathes, voice thick with dread. This thing's half dead already. Life support, engineering sealed off, power bleeding out. There's no way she'll hold together long enough to get us home. He grips the wall for balance, his hands trembling, his eyes wide with the kind of knowledge only a veteran engineer could have. For the first time since you've known him, Bradshaw looks afraid. The air is thin, metallic tinged with ozone. This battered pod is your world now. Beyond the viewport, the stars shimmer like teeth in the dark. I trust Bradshaw and examine the pod to fix things, or ignore his outburst. He must be delirious. Let's fire the engine and try to examine the pod. You help Officer Bradshaw into a chair. His breathing is shallow at first, but as the haze lifts from his eyes, the instincts of a senior engineer kick in. He steadies himself, scanning the pod with a frown that only deepens. Communications are fried, he mutters, pointing at a half-charred console, but nothing we can't handle. He gives you directions. In a few minutes, things start to glow and blip back to life. There you go. Give it a few days to recharge and reconnect to the satellite network and we'll be able to call home. The power relay is the last, not forever. I think maybe I can find a safe trajectory. There's a planet this pod could reach in a few days if we ration the power, right? His words are heavy, but his hands already move with purpose. Despite the damage, he hasn't given up yet. Neither should you. So what should you do? Search for supplies, look for survivors, or let Bradshaw take... Look for survivors. After hours of desperate searching through the corridors and compartments of the broken vessel, the truth gnaws at you. There's no survivors. The silence is suffocating, the flickering lights mocking your determination. Bradshaw leans heavily against the wall, his breathing shallow. His face is pale, but his voice, when it comes, is sharp with exhaustion and bitterness. Enough! We're wasting what little strength we have. There's no one left. Listen, we don't have time for false hope. Give me control of the pod. I can still chart their course. Maybe find the nearby planets our best chance. His words hang in the recycled air, heavy with finality. You see the toll the search has taken on him, but also the iron edge of his resolve. Do you relent and have Bradshaw control the ship? If you refuse Bradshaw's proposition, he lets out a harsh laugh that dissolves into a cough. He sinks onto the cot, shaking his head. Our funeral, he mutters, before pulling the blanket over his shoulders and closing his eyes, too weak to argue. You can continue the search. Give him control. You relent control of the ship to that feverish and yet determined man and help him to what would remain him stationed for the foreseeable future. For 3 consecutive days, he doesn't sleep. Establishing diagnostics, bossing you around to connect some wires together, getting more and more sleep deprived. But on the 3rd day, you are woken by a powerful scream. You rush to a station, imagining the worst, but you find them laughing. We're here. Douglas 12, not much more than the bluish dot, is on site. After the heroic effort, he simply says, "You take it from here. It won't be useful until I can get some sleep and heal my wounds. And some aliens, ask them for some medicine. Would you? You never know if they have advanced stuff." He then goes back to his sleeping quarters while the ship starts to take its final trajectory towards the planet. A beautiful blue ball with some green in it. As you draw closer to the planet, you marvel at its beauty, captivated by its otherworldly allure. The planet's surface is a mosaic of contrasting landscapes. Towering mountains rise majestically against the horizon, their peaks obscured by wisps of cloud, while vast oceans stretch out as far as the eye can see, shimmering in the light of distant stars. In between, the sprawling forest stretches into the distance, its canopy dense and mysterious, while crumbling ruins hint at a once thriving civilization that gets picked up by some of your instruments. You can only guess the information that your pod could provide. If it was back to a totally functioning state. Sorry. You start landing on the planet's surface, eager to follow eager to uncover its secrets firsthand. You guide your pod towards the planet's surface, the thrill of discovery coursing through your veins as you prepare to embark on a new adventure. The planet looms ever closer, its features becoming more distinct with each passing moment. As you reach the atmosphere, you're greeted by a breathtaking sight. The planet's surface stretches out beneath you, a vast expanse of untamed wilderness and ancient ruins waiting to be explored. Mountains rise majestically on the horizon, their peaks shrouded in mist, while dense forests blanket the land below, teeming with life and mystery. With steady hands, you guide your pod towards a suitable landing spot. As you make contact with the planet's surface, disaster strikes. The impact is jarring, sending shockwaves reverberating through the pod as it skids to a halt. Alarms blare as you assess the damage. The pod has sustained heavy damage, its hull cracked and systems offline. You're still You are alive, still. This is the first time you walk on a new world. You make a mental note of this feeling, promising yourself to remember every nuance, while already forgetting half of them like the fool you will always be. Let's take a look around. Okay. Beautiful, terrifying, unnatural. You should not be here. Earth calls you back. Earth calls you back. Your brain screams that you need to leave. You shake your head as if to reset all the horrors that haunts you. It works for a time. The landscape of this alien world stretches before you. Where will you go next? You smell at the sight of your planet, the one you discovered. Never has any human set foot here. In the distance, several points of interest catch your eyes. A few miles away, you spot a cluster of crumbling ruins or ancient stones weathered by time. Structures rise like specters from a forgotten age, and you can't help but wonder what tales lie buried within their walls. Will you explore the echoes of the past and unlock their secrets? To the north, a dense forest stretches out. It can't be a thick tapestry of leaves and shadows. The forest exudes an aura of mystery. Do you dare to venture in the steppes? In the east, a series of caves beckons with their alluring glow, each one illuminated by glittering crystals that sparkle with like 1,000 stars. The colors dazzle the eye, promising hidden treasures within their subterranean chambers. What wonders could you uncover in those glittering depths? To the south, the endless plains roll out in waves of golden hues, their beauty captivating and desolate at once. The vastness seems to stretch up to the horizon, hinting at untold adventures and unseen perils. What ancient secrets lie buried beneath the shifting sands? In the west, the majestic mountains stand tall and proud, their peaks shrouded in clouds. You wonder if some of those locations could provide you with medical help for Officer Bradshaw. Maybe an herb in the forest or some mushrooms in the cave. But how could you tell? Would you risk poisoning him? Could some instruments help inside the ship provide a diagnostic? You can also leave the planet and continue to explore the galaxy. But how? Our pod is just, like, damaged. How the heck would we... Whatever. Let's go to the crumbling ruins. The ruins, ancient and imposing, rise from the landscape like the skeletal remains of a forgotten civilization. Towering columns and crumbling arches stand as silent sentinels. There are surfaces etched with cryptic symbols and worn smooth by the passage of time. They are as thick with the weight of history, a palpable sense of lost grandeur and lingering mystery. Ruins are not devoid of life. As you venture deeper into the heart of the decaying structures, movement catches your eye. Emerging from the shadows, a group of aliens materializes, their forms lithe and sinewy. Their skin, a mottled blend of iridescent scales, glistens in the dim light, and their eyes, large and predatory, lock onto you with unwavering intensity. These aliens, clearly descendants of the civilization that once thrived here, are far from welcoming. Their posture is aggressive, muscles coil with tension, and their sharp, angular features are twisted into snarls of hostility. Primitive weapons, forged from metal and bone, glint menacingly from in their hands as they approach with a swift and coordinated precision. Their leader, a towering figure adorned with ornate tribal markings, steps forward, his eyes narrowing as he assesses you. The hostility in their gaze is unmistakable. They perceive you as a threat, an intruder in their sacred domain. The air hums with the electric charge of impending violence. You have mere moments to decide your course of action. Do you prepare to defend yourself against their attack, or do you attempt to communicate, to negotiate for your safety? Let's try to communicate. With a deep breath, you raise your hands in a... I guess I won the roll. You raise your... It would be nice if I could, like, hold the roll until I've read, like, the first bit. With a deep breath, you raise your hands in a gesture of peace, hoping to convey your lack of hostile intent. Words, tentative and carefully chosen, spill from your lips as you attempt to bridge the gap between cultures. The leader's eyes flicker with something, curiosity perhaps, or the faintest glimmer of understanding. So you did roll 13. You managed to explain that you are not an invader, or at least you managed to make them laugh enough of your attempt that they stop considering you as meat. In the end, they talk among each over and gesture you to follow them. They show you a place where they store all the ship parts on the poor bastards who crashed here. In the middle of a mountain of steel and bones, old and new, find the parts you are looking for. You get back to your pod, fix your communications, get the hell out of here. Place where they store all the ship parts. Take what you need and get the hell out of here. Alright, so what do we got? An alien gun, communication device. That'll be useful to have, I think. Money. Money's been added to your purse. Oh, did I just say... Can I just, like, take everything? I can. That's like, no. Armor. Oh, wait. There. Boots. Health potion. Oh, I can't stack them. Watch. An alien gun. Type sword. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright. Take what you need and get the hell out of here. Your pod's repaired. You escape safely. Explore the galaxy. It says I can click that, but I can't really, can I? Okay. A few days had passed since the accident. You find an old deck of cards. Actually... No, check out the Galactic Casino at least. You find an old deck of cards and challenge the ship's AI to a game of poker. The AI, programmed to adapt, becomes a surprisingly good opponent. One day in the middle of a tense hand, you win with a bluff that leaves the AI stunned. Victory brings a rare moment of laughter, a small but cherished triumph in the vast loneliness of space. You knock on Bradshaw's cabin and find him propped on his elbow, pale but grinning. He passes a bunk and tells you a story about the academy that makes you laugh despite a smell of burnt insulation. You slowly settle into what seems to be your new home. Days after days, the sounds become more familiar. Small pod has a few containers that you pry open easily. Easily? Only one seems to resist. You don't have the necessary tool to access it yet, but you mark it as a task to accomplish later on. I'm gonna guess... I go and equip this. My strength should be higher, right? Yeah. Won't matter for here, but... The AI-powered Mega Vendor machine installed on board is still nagging you with everything you would need to survive, hidden from you with a cash wall. If only you had the credits. If only it could understand the emergency of your situation. But would that change anything? Mega Vendor. Oh jeez. The heck? So expensive. Next week, 5% promotion on all hygiene products. Don't mind the beats, that's just my sense of humor module. Oh gosh, that's so expensive. What do I have? Where does it say 2,000? I have some health pills. Let's get that. I wanna keep... Hi? Thank you. Oh, the lock container still mocks your attempts at prying it open. Seems to need an outside authorization, like it was designed to wait for some event to give you whatever it contains. Try a look at the Galactic Casino. Place your bet. 200. Place bet. You won 200! 200! 200. No! No, I'm losing. No! I need to put on my head. Okay, cash out. Okay. I see. Well, I think it's a little taste of a spaceship accident anyway. I bet I could have gotten like another survivor if I continued searching, but Bradshaw would have been really annoyed, I guess. So I can highlight the text. Whee! But yeah, so that's a little taste of a spaceship accident. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider tossing a like, comment, subscribe, maybe click the bell for notifications. Also be sure to check out the description below. Various links, social media, Discord. Come hang out, get notifications there as well. And also be sure to go check out Choose Wisely Festival, taking place on Steam December 8th through 15th, 2025. Bunch of cool games, including A Spaceship Accident, are taking part in it. So, it's a good time, good time. Lots of choice-heavy games, demos, discounts, releases. Yeah. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!